I'm Nick Forster. You're listening to eTown. Langhorne Slim's going to be back to play some more music in a little while. And of course, coming up from Austin, Texas, Greyhounds are here. We love that band. Play some great music. Before we bring them out, we're going to continue with our loose theme about protecting and preserving the good stuff. Our next guest is Grady Spann. He's from the Northwest Arkansas Land Trust. And he's got an interesting story. He served in the military, and then he spent 28 years with Arkansas State Parks as a park ranger, and then eventually the director. He went on to become the executive director of the Northwest Arkansas Land Trust, which is a local nonprofit where he focuses on preserving and enhancing quality of life through the permanent protection of land. Cool stuff. Please welcome to eTown, Grady Spann. Grady, good to see you. Welcome.
What a pleasure to be here. What a great show. My gosh, what a wonderful show.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Well, I want to touch a little bit on your background first. As I understand it, you were born and raised in Brazil.
Well, I was raised in Brazil, born in Mexico.
Oh, born in Mexico, okay.
But here's the story. I was born in Mexico, raised in Brazil. I married a Mexican who's born and raised in Arkansas. So who's more Latin, me or her?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. But the trick there is I was born in Mexico, Missouri.
That is a trick.
But I did live in Brazil for 20 years.
Yeah, and you speak Portuguese.
I do. I falo português.
Oh, good. That's handy around here, I suspect.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Every day. You just never know.
Well, I know you spent 9 years in the military, and as I understand it, 28 years in state parks here in Arkansas. And as a ranger, and you traveled, I imagine, throughout the state.
I did. I've traveled all over the great state of Arkansas and even lived close to where Jimmy Driftwood was raised.
Yeah.
And even ran the park where Jimmy Driftwood used to play. And, just
The one
great
in Mountain
history.
View, or where is that?
The Ozark Folk Center State
Yeah.
Park in Mountain
Yeah.
View, Arkansas.
Little known fact, I hitchhiked from New York to Mountain View, Arkansas when I was 17 years old just to go to that place, to meet Lynn McSpadden and
Yep.
talk about dulcimer making and stuff like that.
Yeah, absolutely wonderful place.
Beautiful spot. One of John Prine's favorite locations, too.
Yes, he did like to trout fish. Yes. Yeah. And there's a tribute to John Prine this year at the Ozark Folk Center. So if you're a John Prine fan, there's
cool.
your chance to go hear some great music.
Well, it does seem like, aside from your time in the military, you've been service-oriented all your life.
I have. I think serving people is just the ultimate call in my life. I love just helping people. Rangers, the most trusted public image, I think, in the world. And so being a park ranger was a great honor to serve millions of people a year.
Yeah, that's amazing. And so it's kind of a natural extension of that work to find yourself in your current gig, which is figuring out how to preserve land in perpetuity in the northwest part of Arkansas.
Yeah, conservation is a passion for me. I mean,
Yeah.
we discovered during COVID how important nature is to all of us. Nature has healing powers. Going out in nature makes you feel better. And so protecting what we love so much, what makes Arkansas, and especially Northwest Arkansas, so special, is really a passion, not only for myself, but my entire team that works at the Northwest Arkansas Land Trust.
It seems there's a few competing powers in the neighborhood, though, in the region. One, obviously, is the interest in outdoor recreation, mountain biking, hiking, being outside, fishing. And the other is that it's a popular place and people move here all the time, and so development is rampant and you're losing acreage all the time. Farms are getting gobbled up, and so those two things are at odds with each other.
They seem to be at odds, but our goal is to work in partnership with developers as we grow, which is a blessing for Northwest Arkansas. It's what brought us all here.
Yeah.
We want to grow in partnership with developers that we can protect natural habitats, quality of water, water sources, access to outdoor recreation, and just wildlife protection and small farm operations in partnership with developers. You don't have to turn everything into a development or parking lot. You just need to keep it balanced, and that's what we're going to do. We're going to balance everything, and you just have to work hard at it. And there are people out there, landowners that are really the heroes that want to protect their land legacy, and they're leaving that land to protection in perpetuity, and that's really exciting.
And how does it work for them? Do you give them tax benefits, or do you give them cash, or how does it work out for the landowners?
Well, so far, we've been very fortunate. Most of our landowners have donated conservation easements to us, and what that means is that they voluntarily put restrictions on their land to protect their land in perpetuity. Once that conservation easement is attached to the deed, it can never be developed beyond what that conservation easement says. So the landowners in this area are the real heroes. Arkansas is 90% owned by private landowners. And so we really have to work with local landowners, and, but it's also, we're looking at programs that allow us to buy conservation easements from landowners, and they do get tax breaks as well.
Yeah, and when you go to approach somebody who owns a farm or owns a large tract of land somewhere, are you literally kind of going door to door and saying, hey, I want to talk to you about this opportunity to be able to preserve your land, or how do you do it?
Well, we have public meetings or meetings in communities, and we present what a conservation easement does. It's a voluntary agreement between the landowner and us to protect that land from development. And it's all based, every conservation easement is tailored to that landowner's wishes, which is really unique. Mm-hmm. And they don't have to allow public access. There are some people that buy big portions of land, like we just got 840 acres just southwest of Siloam Springs, and it was donated to us. So I'm a mountain biker, but one of the agreements was we want single-track mountain bike trails there. And so we're putting 17 miles of single-track mountain bike trails. Got to surf the dirt a little bit, but the rest of the 820 acres is all going to be natural habitats and protecting the Illinois watershed.
Let me ask you another thing about sort of competing interests. So as you're conserving land and improving the quality of life, basically, access to nature and mountain bike trails and other things, making these places more desirable, that probably makes the rents go up, makes the place more expensive, and therefore affordable housing is an issue, right?
It is. Everything, when you make a place like Northwest Arkansas, when you start building it the way we've been blessed to build this geographic area, people, it is a desirable place to come live, and prices do go up, but our job is to balance that natural habitat and water quality with that development. And, I know there are a lot of community leaders that are trying to address affordable housing and making sure that people can afford to come here, because we do need our firefighters and our policemen and our teachers and our nurses and the people working in restaurants. Those folks need to afford to live here because that's what makes this place so special. Yeah. It's the geography, but also all the people that live here. Arkansas has wonderful, wonderful people.
Well, back to the natural scenario. Yeah, listen, he's talking about you guys. I was really impressed because I did look at your website and I saw a few of the testimonials from the landowners who've donated some property. And what I was struck by is that a lot of them shared what I would consider almost a Native American sensibility on stewardship instead of ownership. This is land that we are actually just passing through. We're responsible for it. We're taking care of it. We want to honor it. And many of them talked about the mysteries that are still unsolved, having to do with the interrelation between species, among species on these pieces of land, and how everything is connected. It was actually a very kind of spiritual and sensitive understanding that these property owners were talking about, which I was impressed by. Yeah,
and that's the gentleman, John Rule, who talked about that. If you haven't been to our website, go to there and watch the video. But these land legacies is what I call them. When people leave their land as a legacy in perpetuity for generations forever, they are allowing us to discover the mysteries of nature. They are allowing nature to recover. They are allowing nature to connect to us in a very healing and powerful way. Mm-hmm. Natural habitats, when you go out and hike a trail in a state park, or you ride a mountain bike through some of these trails, or even, going down the greenway, that experience of having that green around you is just really important, and it is a mystery. And nature was created to benefit our health. Yeah. And so keeping that nature natural is going to be super critical to Northwest Arkansas, especially as we develop and move forward.
Yeah, well, it's noble work and it's important work, and it's also service that you're providing to the landowners, because those landowners are deeply connected to their landscape, the one that this has nourished and fed them for generations, perhaps.
Absolutely. I mean, we have a farm in East Arkansas that's been in our family since 1905. And that farm, my mom was born there and she died there. And, that legacy is very, very deep in my heart.
Yeah.
And I can imagine everybody who owns land in Northwest Arkansas, as we talk to them about how important is this land for, we know it's important to you, but how important it is for all the future generations that can enjoy it the way you've enjoyed it. And that's really what we want to get out to everybody, is that land here is so precious, it's so special, that we want to protect that special place for everybody that needs to enjoy that place.
And if, for example, my family had a farm here in Northwest Arkansas and we had a bunch of acres and a barn and house and place that was meaningful to me and generations were familiar with this place, I could donate a conservation easement on the land, but still have access to and enjoy the use of that house, right?
Absolutely. A conservation easement does not take the land away from that landowner. That landowner can sell the land, can pass it on to their heirs, just do whatever they want to. The thing is that conservation easement continues to restrict how that land is being used.
Yeah.
And it's a voluntary restriction. It's nothing that we impose on them. It's something that we work with them to develop. So land can stay in the family for generations, but the family gets to enjoy the fact that the natural habitat, that protection of water, the waterfalls, the streams, the creeks, all get to stay the same and continue to flourish
Yeah.
and continue to nourish our lives.
Yeah, that's a great message. Well, listen, I applaud you for doing this work, and it's interesting. I also suspect that you're a creative guy. You've been at this a long time. Retiring after 28 years doesn't seem like it made sense for you.
No, it wasn't. I failed at retirement pretty miserably. I was going to ride bikes around the nation, but I think my wife was ready for me to go back to work, and then I found something that she was ready. I don't think she was ready for me to go back to work. Love her to death, but when I saw the job opportunity up here to continue to protect land and conserve land, and really I was looking for a job that impacted people's lives. And there's nothing more impactful than saving land in perpetuity, than saving the natural habitat, than saving our water quality, than saving access to quality of life than what this job does.
Yeah.
So I'm really excited about it. I'm excited to start telling more people about this and how they can support conservation in Northwest Arkansas.
I also suspect in your previous job as director of the Park Service for the state of Arkansas, you've got some high-level contacts and connections, and you can maybe work with the state to set aside some land in big chunks somewhere, and even in other parts of the state.
Well, the good news is, there are state organizations like the Arkansas Natural Heritage Commission that already does that.
Yeah.
One of the, kind of drawbacks from that is if the government or state government protects land or owns land, then it has to allow public access. So therefore, landowners a lot of times don't want to work with the state agency, and that's where we come in and play that vital role.
I see. Yeah.
And so, yes, my kids, they used to tell me, Dad, we got stopped by the police today, and we just said, do you know who my dad is? And I said, don't use that line, because it's probably not going to help you anymore. But yeah, I mean, I've been around the government block quite a bit, and do have a lot of good contacts, good friends, and a lot of people who really do believe in the protection of the natural habitats and the natural world of Arkansas. I think this whole emphasis on outdoor recreation being one of the economic drivers in Arkansas is so critically important, not only to improve quality of life, but we have to protect that access to outdoor recreation. And so, I think I shared with you earlier, the city of Lincoln is getting ready to protect 360 acres around Lincoln Lake, and also all the great climbing area around there, and the trails and the mountain bike trails and access to the lake and fishing, and also all the natural habitat around there. So the city of Lincoln is actually making a move to forever protect that land, to keep it the way it is for generations to come.
Yeah.
So, there's all kinds of opportunities to conserve and to work with us for land conservation.
Quickly, if people want to get more information or they want to get involved, they want to replicate what you're doing, is there a website people can go to?
Just go to nwalandtrust.org and get in touch with us. We will be more than happy to work with you. We are, public supported. We depend on donations, and we're a nonprofit. And so Our work is good. Our work is important.
Yeah, nwalandtrust.org.
That's it.
Cool. Well, listen, thanks so much for being with us.
My pleasure.
And it's a great story, and I'm happy you could join us.
Oh, my pleasure. And y'all enjoy the evening. It's a great evening.
Grady Spann, thanks so much for being here. Thanks, Grady.
Thank you.